It's very exciting. I will work with you with AI to help you improve your business. I just don't believe in a fear mentality. It's all about your point of view. So is AI here to stay? Yes. Is it dangerous? Yes. Is it going to be good for you? Yes. All of these things are yes. So choose which side you're going to be on. It's like baseball. You got to get up to the bat. You got to keep swinging, right? And sooner or later, you're going to hit something. But don't just run away and hide in fear like, oh, AI is going to ruin my business. No. Get out there and fight for it, right? You don't have to beat everybody. You don't have to beat AI. You just have to be as good or better as your people closer to you. That's your competition. You're not against the world.
In addition to being a podcast host, I'm also a small business attorney, mostly providing legal services in New York and New Jersey. With over 3 decades of experience, we can handle most transactional issues. So if you're watching the show and you encounter some sort of legal issue, reach out to us and visit our website, bindhackerlaw.com. Thanks for tuning into the show and for continuing to support us. Okay, everybody, back to another show. Welcome to the show. I'm Mitch Beinhacker, your host. We got a little bit of a, John was pointing out, not only coast-to-coast interview, but an international interview because John is up in British Columbia. So we're excited to have him on the show. We're going to hear about his story, talk about his business. I remind everybody, if you're listening on your favorite directory, wherever you can, leave us a 5-star review. We're continuing to build the YouTube channel on the video side. We have all this great video through Riverside FM. So go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, share, like, all that kind of stuff so we can keep growing. I said this in the last episode, this will probably be out in like a month and a half. I'm just starting a new podcast, a sports podcast with my son. He lives in Fort Worth, Texas, just moved there about 2 months ago. And we talk about sports all the time. So now, once a week, we have 2 episodes out now. By the time this comes out, there'll probably be 6 or 8 of them. Listen to us. Go to the show. It's called Big Apple Benches and Bleachers. Go to YouTube, look up Benches and Bleachers, or look up Instagram. I think we're on TikTok and maybe Facebook. I don't know. My VA's putting stuff out there. So if you want to hear some cool conversation about sports, we're big Knicks fans, we're big football fans, college, professional. We'll do other sports too. I guess hockey as we get more into it and stuff like that.
Hey, can I come on that with
you're
my
from
son?
Canada, right, John? So hockey's good?
Hockey is good. Go Habs. It's the last Canadian team. And if you want to talk sports, my son works for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So maybe we can have a father-son thing.
Very nice. We definitely, as we get more episodes, my son said, all right, let's get 6 or 8 episodes, and we'll have some guests on.
Sounds
so
good.
Perfect. My daughter actually goes to University of Arizona in Tucson, so I've been out there. And I have a friend who is a MLB agent in the Phoenix area.
Cool.
So he knows a lot of the Diamondbacks. He probably knows your son, probably. His name's Scott. What's Scott's last name? I don't remember.
He's a good friend.
Yeah, Scott Goldberg or something like that. Anyway, so tell me, your story in business and go back a little ways, and then we'll work up to Alley Cat Marketing.
You bet. So I love the name, a accidental entrepreneur. So my family are Dutch immigrants. Today, I don't know if you know, is the anniversary of the victory of Europe, World War II ending. And my father, my grandfather was in the Dutch underground, and he was a butcher by trade. And then they actually put him into law enforcement to help with the unrest that followed that. And Holland was liberated by Canadians, mostly Canadian Armed Forces. So nice. They decided when they're going to come to North America, a lot of people, of course, went to Michigan area, and New York, of course, used to be called New Holland or New Amsterdam. And but my family came to Canada. And so, we started out as potato farmers, chicken farmers, and worked our way up. But we've always been in business for ourselves. And my dad owned a business. We've gone through a bankruptcy. And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. You talked about your daughter going to university. I'm just too cheap to spend $20, $30, $40, $1,000 back then on a university education if I didn't know what I wanted to do. So
But isn't it more cost effective in Canada?
It's less expensive, absolutely. But let's face it, $80,000 wasted or $30,000 wasted.
You're right.
Money,
I know.
Right?
I have the same. I got 3. That's my 3rd kid, by the way.
Yeah.
It's all been 50 plus every year. Actually, she got money. She's the only kid who got money.
Yeah.
But nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I got into business because my dad had been in business, my grandfather had been in business, and I just started selling stuff. And I did TVs and stereos. Then I moved to jewelry. As a matter of fact, funny story. I had a client that I sold a television to, and then he ended up getting engaged. So I sold him an engagement ring when I worked there, and they go, okay, well, we'll be back to see you when we need a house. So, thinking I was going to be on the the scale of selling more expensive stuff all the time. But I ended up in
Well, so you're not saying that the store you worked at sold TVs and wedding
no,
rings.
no,
You're
no. I'm
saying
saying I
you moved
transitioned.
to a new store,
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
Okay,
let's face it, an entrepreneur, you
right.
do one job your whole life, you just do it at a bunch of different
Especially in
places,
sales, right?
right?
Yeah, of
So
course.
I ended up in the car business. I'm a car nut, and I ended up working for the Jim Pattison Auto Group, which it's kind of like the Penske Group down there, or Bomarito, something
Okay.
like that. He's the largest player in Canada, and I did very, very well. I was very comfortable, very good at what I did, six-figure job. And then in 2008, my appendix burst, and I almost died.
Oof.
Like complications. Seriously, my wife was almost
Yeah,
a widow.
bursting appendix is worse than appendicitis when you get there in
Yeah,
time.
well, and I've been just having conditions for 3 days, and I didn't realize it, so I was full of infection. So
Oof.
here's the thing: my boss calls me at work, and I'm sure this is probably not legal, if not unethical, or calls me from work at the hospital and say, "When are you coming back to work, John?" So
That's today
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
unethical.
So as a manager, I supervised 24 salespeople, and I ordered the
Okay.
cars, and I did marketing and stuff for this group. And you got to measure your performance. You measure the performance of your people, right? Well, I had to measure
Sure.
my own performance, and my performance after that disrespecting episode went down
Definitely
40%.
disrespect.
I just couldn't
Yeah.
do it anymore. I would liken it to Tom Cruise in Top Gun, or Maverick in Top Gun. It's like
Right.
same guy, same skills, same equipment, completely ineffective because of his confidence, right? Just
Right. Exactly. You just took the wind out of your sails, right?
completely killed me. So I just couldn't work in that environment anymore. So my wife and I, we doubled the mortgage on our house, took out a
Okay.
bunch of lines of credit, like lots of accidental entrepreneurs do, and purposeful entrepreneurs as
Right.
well. Got a whole bunch of debt, and I bought an existing business, which I totally recommend buying a business rather than starting from scratch.
It's hard to start from scratch. There's a lot of more variables involved
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
know. But even if the business needs some rehabilitation, at least you have a shell, a frame of something,
Yeah, I
right?
was so excited. I remember buying the business. I'd never owned a real business before. I tried to bootstrap one once before, but back then it was 2009. I remember I bought the business and the accounts receivable, and people came in and picked up their signs and paid for it with a credit card, and boom, I got money coming in the bank. I was so excited, right?
There you go. And that was Alley Cat
So that was
that we're
Alley Cat
talking.
Signs, yeah.
Okay.
And so that was in 2009, and then this thing about 10 years later happened called COVID. You
Yeah.
might
Right.
remember it.
Yeah.
Well, I got it.
A lot of people needed signs in COVID days,
Well,
right?
you know what? All they needed was stickers and plexiglass shields to say "stay away," but there was no customers to keep away. So my
Right.
business went to the tanker. We had some good
Yeah.
government support. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Mine went through the same thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
but when business is good, people need signs. When business is bad, people still need signs. So it's a recession resistant business. There's nothing proof, right? But it's pretty hard in a pandemic. So the great news is I had already started getting Google reviews by then. And I had more Google reviews than any of my competitors. So I was actually getting business from across the country, just because of
For what?
competition. So
For partitions?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So whatever it was, and then as COVID went on, I started teaching people how to do what I'd learned. So, we talked earlier about university education. You can pay your 40, 50, 80 grand, or you can go
Yeah.
through the School of Hard Knocks and get your SHK degree. So I had an SHK degree, and I'd learned what to do and what not to do in digital marketing. So now
Yeah.
I had actually become, I hate the word guru, but I become a
Well,
self-educated.
expert.
I
Yeah.
had experience. Some people call me an expert. I won't I
Yeah.
won't bestow that title on myself, but I will receive it from you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how we
Yeah.
got here.
So Alley Cat then was it a retail store when you bought it? Like you took on a lease, you had space, you made the signs in your back
Yeah.
of the shop?
Yeah, we're a bricks and mortar shop in a commercial
Okay.
area in Victoria. We had 6 employees by the time the pandemic hit. I had to lay off everybody, including my oldest son. We're a family business. My wife worked with
Yeah.
me. My oldest son works with me, and then we had 3 other staff, and we had to let them go. And yeah, so from that, then I realized, okay, there's not a lot of sign business coming in. I got all the government business because I'm in the capital city. I got a lot of government business, but
Oh, you do? Okay.
but I now, I've got people that need to attract business, and they're moving online, right? So they need to have an online presence, and they need to get found
Yeah.
online.
Right.
So I don't know about you, Mitch, but if you're in a strange town, that you've never been to, and you've got your spouse or your daughter with you, or maybe you're is it Tucson visiting your daughter, and you want to go, what's the best Mexican food? And there's
Right. You
a
go to
thousand
Yelp.
Mexican restaurants there. So which one is the best? What do you do?
Yeah, you go to Yelp, you look for reviews, you go to Google.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Especially when you don't know. I mean, you don't have anybody to ask. What are you going to do? Go up to the guy in the street corner? That's what you do in the old days. You probably pass somebody in the street and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, what's the best Mexican restaurant in town?" And hopefully they know what the hell they're talking about. You don't
Exactly.
know.
So
Yeah.
really what that comes down to is that's reputation, right? So whether you're
Yeah.
whether you're searching by face-to-face talk for a referral, a guy on the street could be your friend who's a scout, it could be a fellow student of your daughter's. It's
Yeah.
all about reputation. Where have you had a good experience, right? So in the old days, it was only mouth-to-mouth reputation, but now with social media and with Google, we literally have a digital place that we can go to. There is no excuse for you taking your family out to a bad restaurant nowadays. Like, I mean,
It really. Yeah.
really, right?
Yeah.
Um,
No, maybe it won't be, you'll pick one. It won't be the best experience, but
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, anybody can have an off night. Nobody's perfect. I even have some one-star
Right.
Google reviews. I never claimed to be perfect, but
Yeah.
we
No.
put our best foot forward, and we put it out there. So now part of what I do is I help you get found on the street. So with an A-frame or a sign or a wrap on your vehicle.
Right.
So I'm not going to help you, Mr. Client, in New Jersey or upstate or whatever.
Right. You're going to ship me a sign. That's crazy.
Not cost effective, but here's the great thing. I can help you with your reputation. I have clients in, LA, Australia. I even got a Google review the other day from, well, a couple months ago now, from Spain, because I was
There you
able to
go.
consult, right? So
Right.
whether you're an online business or you're a person-to-person business, your reputation is the most important thing. I mean, does that help as a lawyer in a law firm? Is that not how you get
Of course
business?
it does. Of course it does. And it's a lot of it is how you show up. Do you look professional? Do people say good things about
Yeah.
you? I mean, there's really no reason for not having. I mean, look, there's a lot of websites that aren't, SEO, really done up from an SEO
Yeah.
standpoint, but they should look professional. They should have valuable information. You should have good reviews. So I think it's all about, and even if you don't sell online, people are still going to check you out that
Yeah.
way. So that's that nobody goes, even if you recommended me to someone, they're still going to go and check me out
Yeah.
electronically online.
Yeah.
There's no question about it because that's where it's just available, right?
Yeah.
You're going to search and you're going to put it in your phone. You're going to say to Siri,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever you're going to do. And I think that people miss that. But I want to go back a little bit. I have a question for you because you mentioned before about buying a business and that you recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about like what advantage buying this business gave you and what were the difficulties that you took on basically when you bought the business? Because you are, to a certain extent, you're buying an opportunity and some structure. And to a second extent, you're buying someone's headaches that they're walking away from and selling their business. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, for me, it was the benefit was cash flow. Like I had a mortgage, I had 3 kids, and we wanted to be able to hit the ground running. And I tried to bootstrap a computer cleaning business before because my dad had one. That was one of the things that he did.
Okay.
And when you're starting your business, this is the E myth, very simply, right? Like
Yeah.
you do what you do, but when you do what you do, you're a technician. And so you got your technician hat on today, but tomorrow you need to go sell, so you got a business to do. So you're either selling or you're doing whatever it is that you do, and you can't do both at the same time. Now,
Right.
so that was the big thing for me. So I tried to bootstrap that business, and it was exactly that. So
What's a computer cleaning business?
so
You're
you
cleaning
you have a
computers?
keyboard right in front of you. So
Yeah.
if you work in an office and you're on the same keyboard over and over again, and then you shake hands with somebody, and then you come back and work on your keyboard, or you go like this and you work on your keyboard. So
I do.
a keyboard is literally dirtier than most toilet seats. Has more bacteria
That's,
on it. So.
yeah.
So back when everybody worked in offices and lots of government, we would clean those keyboards, but we would also go in and blow them out and clean CD-ROMs. Remember when we used to do stuff?
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. I have, I don't know where it is, one of those air
Yeah.
cans. How much does that help?
Well,
Nothing? Makes it look
Yeah,
better.
it
Does it?
looks better and it blows it off. But we all have oils, right, on our skin and our
Yeah, of
fingertips. So
course.
the oils get on there, then the dust settles on there. Now you've got a mucky fingerprint. So they do need to be cleaned. If you want a quick tip, just get an alcohol wipe or something like that, and turn the computer off, wipe the keyboard, and it'll evaporate off, and you'll be fine. But
Right. That's a good advice because if you don't turn your computer off, all kinds of crazy things are going to happen
yeah,
on
yeah,
your
yeah.
computer because you're pressing all these
Yeah.
buttons. Yeah.
Funny story. I was cleaning a keyboard in a government office one time. And I was shaking upside down to get the staples out. 180 staples out of one keyboard. And it,
You mean just because they're unstapling things, just drop them in the keyboard.
exactly. Yeah. Oh,
That's crazy.
type the F and the J comes up. Like crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds like a tough business, though, right? Because small companies, they got their own problems. They're not going to pay to have their computers cleaned. They're going
Yeah.
to tell their employees you do it. Big companies, I don't know,
Yeah.
especially if, right, you got to prioritize. But everyone needs signage, right? So how did you find Alleycat?
Yeah, I just looked online, and so I ended up
Okay.
buying it through a realtor, but I saw it Alleycat. Let me tell you about Alleycat. It was a great business. It had a good reputation. It literally started in an alley we have the second oldest Chinatown in North America here. It's
Oh, interesting.
in
What's the first oldest?
San Francisco.
New York?
San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco. I've been to San Francisco,
Yeah,
Chinatown. Okay.
yeah. It started in what we call Fantan Alley, and so that's where it started. And at that time, it was just cut vinyl letters and stuff like that. By the time I bought it from the second owner, and so you talked about why did I buy a business? I didn't know how to sell signs. I knew nothing about signs.
Right. But you were a good salesman, though, John. I mean, you've sold a bunch of different kinds of
I
stuff.
knew about messaging. I knew about being short and to the point and telling people what they need and if it's good or if it's
Okay.
bad, right? And then letting them make up their own mind. And you want to know something about my Google reviews? I have 800, and I do have a
Okay,
couple. I
good.
have a couple of ones. They're all about me personally, about my personality. He's direct. He's disrespectful. I'm not disrespectful. I respect that you are entitled to your opinion. I just happen to have 45 years of sales and marketing experience. So your pretty logo is not going to help you sell anything. You should write the name of your company and what you do. There's two messages: who you are and what you do for your client. That's it.
Right.
Okay.
Pretty doesn't do
The
it.
third
Yeah.
the third message is how do I get in touch with you, right? But
Yeah.
people forget the basics, and they spend thousands of dollars on a wrap on a vehicle that no one's ever going to be able to read because it's so flowery, and they've got three. They've got the logo, and then they've got the font and the name and stuff like that, and it all gets
Right.
lost in the noise, right?
Yeah, of course. And then people remember this nice van. They can't remember what was on it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so I bought Alley Cat Signs because it had a really cool looking logo, and that is not it. Okay,
That was not the
that's
logo?
not the logo. I bought it because it had a really cool, scripty looking logo. So I told you my son works for the Diamondbacks. He used to work for NASCAR. I am a racing fan, so we had a local short track here, and I sponsored cars. Like a lot of drivers come to me, hey, can you put my numbers on my car? Yeah, yeah. And I give them a deal. I say, okay, I'll give you $500 off. You let me put Alley Cat Signs. So one time I was at the track on a Saturday night, and I had about 5 cars out there. All of them had Alley Cat Signs on it.
Yeah.
From 100 feet away, I couldn't read it. My own
Yeah, well,
logo,
that's a problem,
because
right?
I bought it. I bought the company. I came with the logo that I thought was so cool, could not be
Yeah.
read from 100 feet away. That's a problem. Why do you
Yeah,
put
you
your name
think?
on a car so people can read it and they like you? They like the affiliation. Hey, you support local business. You support local racers. That's a good thing. Who is that? I can't read that. That's
Right.
useless, right?
So that was like an epiphany of yours. Like when you bought the business, you thought it was great.
School of Hard Knocks education, right? So I learned a
Absolutely.
lesson and then I applied it. And then now I can apply that lesson to you. And
Yeah.
you're,
No, look, lawyers do the same thing, right? They have these cards. They have the name on it. You can't tell what it says. My card says Bind Hacker, like in big bold letters, and it's got the logo. Like they don't need to remember anything else.
yeah. Hey,
The rest of it, people know me. So
let me give you a little tip. So you see my name written down below there, John DeYoung, Mitch Beinacker.
yeah.
So
Yep.
when you have an email address on your business card, I want you to do this at the
Yeah.
end of the day. See what your email address is. Probably all lowercase.
Yes.
So think, John at alleycatsigns.com, all in lowercase. It all runs together. It's very hard to read. Now,
Right.
you used to have to do that. You don't have to do that anymore, folks. The very first thing you should do, the first marketing tip I'm going to give you is change your email address or your website addresses to have upper and lowercase where the words change, okay?
Right, because it's not case
It's
sensitive. You
not
can
case
type it any
sensitive
way you want.
anymore. So you're just making it so difficult for people to read on your truck as you're driving by, John at alleycatsigns.com. Like I can't read that. And then plus I've got a different letter in my, it's spelled K-A-T, not C-A-T. So
Right.
the more variables you put into it, the harder you're making your marketing. You know what?
Right. Make it easy for people to remember your name and to remember your email, be able to email you.
Exactly. Make the evidence easy, present it to the jury, and let them decide. And I tell you, they decide with their wallet. They decide, I'm going to do business with you, or I can't even find you. You're not worth the effort. What was that guy's name again? What was it? Pussycat Marketing? I don't know. Like, you got to make it easy,
Right.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if I did a search for, sign companies in Vancouver, Canada,
Yeah.
would I come up with Alley Cat? Probably would,
You
right?
may or may not. Okay. There's different. That's a great question. So Vancouver is actually only about 25 miles away from me, but I'm across a body
Okay.
of water. I'm on an island. So
So it might not pick you
it
up
might
as
not
being
pick us up, but if you were in the greater Victoria area and you typed in sign shops near me, I'm going to come up, and that is without a paid ad. So let me
Yeah,
ask
I
you.
don't do any paid advertising, none.
Okay,
All content related. Yeah.
exactly. So let me tell you this:
Content
whoever's
reviews. Yeah.
listening, if you're a businessman, an entrepreneur, businesswoman, starter, very experienced, I don't care who you are. If you haven't optimized your Google business profile and you're paying money for Google ads or Facebook ads, stop right now.
You're wasting it, right?
Wasting your money. Go back to right. You can do this yourself. Google business profile. I learned how to do this myself. I can do it. I can teach you. I have
Me
free
too. Yep.
training. But
Yeah.
optimize your Google business profile. When you mentioned Siri earlier, so you're an Apple guy. Okay,
Yeah. What was the word? Reluctantly, my kids forced me to get on
it's
it.
okay, right? Do you know that Google pays Apple about $1 million an hour to be the search engine for Safari and Siri? It's like
Oh, you mean it's the back end search
back
engine?
end search engine. So whether you're searching,
That's why I use Google. By the way, I use all the Google products
so do I, right?
on my iPhone. I do not use Safari. I do not.
Yeah.
I use Siri, but I
Yeah.
don't use Safari.
Yeah, and it's a difference. It's difference between good and better, right? Like they're
Right.
not bad. You can do everything you need to do on those platforms. I'm not bad mouthing other platforms. I am platform agnostic. I just want to get the message out there, and I'll use
Yeah.
whatever method is better. Do you advertise on Yellow Pages anymore, Mitch? Just asking.
Do they have the Yellow
Yeah.
Pages anymore?
What are the Yellow Pages? All the young people are saying, right?
I was told that if you could order a book if you want to, it's very thin.
Yeah,
That's what I was told.
I actually have one.
Do you have one?
I don't pay to go in it, but
Yeah. Of
yeah, I
course not.
mean, when I bought Alley Cat 17 years ago, we were paying $400 a month for Yellow Pages ads, right? Because people knew that's where you have to be.
Yeah.
That was
And you want to be an A, so you're high up.
yeah,
Yeah.
triple A, right? Double A, triple A. So yeah, those are the old tricks, and so those are hacks for the algorithm that
Right.
but it was not a digital algorithm; it was an analog algorithm, right? But now we
Right.
have to use hacks for the digital algorithm. So that means getting found where people are searching. Okay, the restaurant we talked about, you searched on Google. You're looking for best university. You're going to search on Siri or Safari or something like that. Wherever people are, that's where you want to be, right?
Yeah.
So
No
you're
question
advertising
about it.
on maybe your clients are NASCAR fans, maybe your clients are baseball fans, maybe your clients are both. So you've got to figure out where their dollars and cents are. But if you know 93% of people when they're searching for something are searching on Google, doesn't it kind of make sense to go there?
Yeah. No question about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
No
And
question
you
about
don't
it.
you don't need someone like me to do it. You can do it yourself. But what you need to understand is what is the cost of doing it yourself. So I charge out at $125 an hour. Lawyers and law firms $400, $500,
Yeah, I'm at 500 an hour.
five
Yeah.
hundred an hour. So you do not have time to learn. Okay. Now that's that. But so you charge out at $500 an hour. But you know what? If you get a case through someone finding you on Google, lifetime value. Do you have an average lifetime value of what your clients are worth?
Yeah, they're probably, well, a lot of them are like one off, but
Yep.
anywhere between 15 and $25,000
Okay, great. Do you know what
per
do you know what the
employee.
lifetime value is of a Starbucks?
That's probably an annual. That's probably an annual value. I
Yeah.
don't have any idea what lifetime value
Okay.
is.
So a lifetime value on a Starbucks client, a Starbucks person spends on average $6 per transaction. But they stay with Starbucks once they're a fan, they stay with them for 10, 15 years. The average
Right.
lifetime value of Starbucks client is $14,099. Okay. So
Okay.
the
So
cost,
15 grand.
yeah. So the cost to you to not be advertising or not to be found on Google, the cost to Starbucks is $14,000 per customer. It's
Right.
not $1,000 a month or $500 a month or whatever. Okay. So if they get one new customer per store per year, they're picking up 15 grand per store, right? Per year. So they spend millions. Okay. You don't have to spend millions, but the
No, because they
ROI.
got national brand, world international brand. They want to
Yeah, and actually
support.
getting found nationally on Google is actually harder. So,
Yeah.
most of my clients I'm dealing with are in Victoria because
Local
I
business
have
people.
I have
Yeah.
I have long-term relationships with a lot of clients. I have a database with 25,000 clients in it. So, you don't have to be the best in the world. You just have to be an expert in your own hometown, right? Like, you talk about your kids in sports. My kids were two of them played lacrosse, and it's amazing how great you feel about yourself when you're a big fish in a small pond, and then you go
Right.
to a national university with Div 1 players, and you go, "Whoa, it's a whole different kettle of
Right.
fish."
It's
So,
not as good as I thought
yeah,
I was.
exactly. So you know what? You're an expert in your hometown. Be an expert there, and marketing, knocking on doors. There's nothing wrong with that. Leaving brochures. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know what's even
Right.
better is getting found on Google. Best business lawyer near me. Best sign shop near me.
Right.
Best hairdresser. Whatever.
Yeah, no, look, and I know that Google loves content. I always tell people, listen, don't be paying. I mean, look, there's some businesses that really lend themselves to keywords and paid for advertising. But for the most part, if you're a professional or you have a retail store or whatever, if you're putting out regular content,
Yeah.
not paid, and people are seeing you and you're getting good reviews and you have, right? Then when they search, more than just your website comes up. They see that you were, named, Chamber of Commerce Business of the Month, or you helped this kid at a park because I don't know, you got his cat out of a tree, whatever it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's a content game. And I learned that early on with the podcast.
Yeah.
Somebody told me, said, Mitch, listen, you just keep putting out episodes. You make them good. You put show notes in there. You post on whatever. And magically, it was facetious, but,
Yeah.
Magically people will start to find you, and content becomes pervasive as long as it's good content. And as long as like you said, you're getting good reviews and people have a good impression, like you're showing up well
Yeah.
online, because then almost paid advertising is almost like, don't know if you really need it if you're a local person.
No.
And you have all your followers and you have, like you said, a huge mailing list. I'm all a big fan of building an emailing list too. I think a lot of people miss the value of that.
It's about valuable communication. You can't always be taking from people. You have to be giving. So,
Always.
one of the things that
The what's that book? Not The Giving Tree. I had him on my show early on. Those books about the giver.
servant leadership, things like that.
No, it's
There's
called
there's
The
a
Giver.
there's a book that I loved from.
I can't remember it now. It's like the E-Myth, but it's a 4-series book called The Giver something. I'll think of it. But there's also a very good book I love, by the way, John. It's called The Referral of a Lifetime. It is a Tim Templeton book, 100 pages, a parable about building a keep in touch program, like keeping in touch with the people that you meet and know who are in your world. And people don't do it. Like I got people I meet at networking events, and then I see them again. I don't remember what they do because they never sent me anything, reached out, nothing.
No communication, right? And even if
And a lot of it you can automate these days. You don't even have to do it by hand.
yeah. Well, and it talks about communication. A lot, even miscommunication can turn into good communication. You can use that to your benefit. So, my wife and I are celebrating our 40th wedding anniversary in about 3 weeks. Well,
Very nice.
it is nice.
We're at 28 this weekend.
Good for you. Congratulations.
There you go.
I'll tell you the first time I can tell you exactly what my wife was wearing the first time I saw her, but she dismissed me out of hand. There was a miscommunication there. She saw me. I come in a a fancy sports car. It was a Volkswagen Scirocco.
Oh yeah, who's this guy?
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. And I was a little bit cheeky but hey, a Volkswagen Scirocco is just a rabbit with a fancy hatchback on it, right? So
Right.
I was Mr. Middle Class with car payments, and but she turned me down. I asked her out, she turned me down because she had but I didn't stop after she said no.
Well, you're
I was
persistent. A lot of people
persistent,
would.
right? I followed up. I followed up. You know what you need to do in business? Follow up. You know what you need to do after you've closed a sale and they bought from you and they're happy and they said, "Hey, thank you very much." You say,
Ask them for a review.
"Hey, do you mind? Can you just do you have your phone on you? Yeah. Okay, just tap this
Right.
right here or scan the other side of my card, which you got a QR code on it. Boom, they're to your Google Business profile in 3 seconds. It's
Right.
all about making it easy. Make it easy to say yes. Make it easy for
Yeah.
them to do what you want them to do. You know what? And say no disrespect. I'm just giving you a little tip here. I ask for a 4 or a 5 star Google review. I don't just say 5 star because some people are just that's perfect. I'm never going to give them 5 stars, but you know what? I humbly ask for 4 or 5 stars.
Maybe I should. Okay, I'll start
And
saying that.
and and they'll probably give you 5 stars, right? But
Yeah.
it comes across a little more humbly, and they go, "Oh, sure, John, yeah, it's been."
Or maybe I should say, leave us a review. You decide what we're worthy
Well,
of.
so that again, that's phraseology. I say, if you think it's appropriate, would you mind leaving us a 4 or a 5 star Google review? And then, Mitch, you're talking about feeding the algorithm and communicating ongoing. If they
Yeah.
leave you a photograph with that Google review, so I was out for dinner last night with my wife and my in-laws, and I took a picture of my dinner and I took a picture of her dinner, and I had already left this restaurant a 5 star Google review, but that was like a year ago. But I uploaded 2 more pictures, and that kind of is like poking the bear in a good way. It's saying, "Hey Google, this."
I came back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Right.
exactly. We're, these guys, it's like another Google review. So Google reviews that are older than 90 days do not help for your ranking. Most people don't know that.
Right.
So if you've got let's say, cleaning company down the street that all of a sudden is getting 5 Google reviews a month, and you've got 300 and they've got 10, then they have 15, then they got 20, but you haven't had a Google review in 3 months, they can
Right.
quite possibly show up higher on Google than you. Because,
Yeah.
because
More recent.
Google appreciates activity. They
Yeah.
appreciate communication between you and your clients. And to Google, your client who leaves a Google review, and is now doing a search for something else, that's their client. They want to service their client well. So they're not going to put in that pop-up when you do a search,
Right.
someone who hasn't touched his Google review in 5 years or his Google,
Right. Of course not.
right? They only want to deal with people who've got active, uh, consistent content. Like,
Yeah, no, that reminds me that I got to go to my pipeline. I got a bunch of things in there probably that I finished. I moved them to the one status or the finished status, and they automatically get a series of emails to ask for reviews with links to Google.
yeah,
And yeah, I got to keep up. That's the only manual step I have. But yeah, I try to tell my
yeah,
colleagues, and I probably should charge them for this, but I don't. I coach a lot of these guys, to get their marketing going, and you can automate a lot of
yeah,
things so you can focus on the running of your
yeah,
business. Like it shouldn't be burdensome on you. But if you try and do it yourself, then you be the guy. Yeah, I posted twice on LinkedIn last week.
yeah,
Okay, that's it. Like
yeah,
it didn't work. I didn't get anything.
yeah.
Probably nobody saw it to begin with.
Your time is valuable, right? So posting to LinkedIn versus posting to Google, post it to
Right.
Google, connect your LinkedIn profile and your YouTube and your Facebook and your
Yeah, it's
Insta,
all
connect
connected.
it all to your Google business profile. And when you post
Right.
it there and when you cross post it, you can set up an automation so it goes back and forth. So you don't have to do 10 different things. You have to do one.
Right. When they post to Google, I think it also puts a thing on LinkedIn that said, "Hey, this such and such
It can
just
do.
posted
Yeah.
a Google
Yeah.
review."
How
Yeah.
many times do you follow up and ask for a review? Let me ask you that, Mitch.
Well, that's what I mean. Every time I finish work for a client, I have it automated
Right.
where they get a review letter
Yeah.
and they get a series of if they file a review right away, then they don't get the rest,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
more
that's good.
letters.
Yeah.
At least I don't think they do.
Perfect.
And if they don't, it comes through, 3 or 4 times, I
Perfect.
think.
Yeah. There's so many
Because
people
I
are
was
missing
told
that,
that if you
Mitch.
send it once, you're probably not going to get a big return,
No,
right?
that's right. So again, it comes to follow up, right? So, and let me tell you another channel that's even about 1,000% more effective than that is text messaging. So I have an
SMS,
I have
right? Yeah.
an automation that sends out an SMS and it says, "Hey, thank you so much for choosing Alley Cat Signs, or hope you're happy with your signs. Click here if you think it's appropriate to leave us a 4 or 5 star Google."
Yeah, I get that from my hair cutter,
Yeah, and it
my
goes
barber
right to
shop.
your text message, and when you get bzz, bzz in your pocket, you're gonna flip it open and look at it. Text messages, SMSs get open about 90%, emails 40%. That's even for people that we know, right? Like,
Yeah.
and the speed to lead is a thing, right? The if a client reaches out to you that wants some law or legal advice, if you're the first one back to them, you've got like a 70% higher chance of being the guy that they pick, because you're deemed as professional and punctual and so on. Well, that's everywhere. Okay, it's the same thing with your Google review. If you can't wait 2-3 weeks to ask for a review, you need to get it out promptly,
right away.
Yeah, some of my clients haven't picked their stuff up yet, so I hold off on it until they pick it up, take it home, put it in. And then what I do is I pick up the phone and I call them and I say, hey, it's John from Alleycat. Just wanted to make sure, is the sign working out for you? Are the graphics, are you happy with the way the graphics went in your van? Or are you getting any, what kind of reaction are you getting? I don't ask them for a review. I communicate with them, right? I discuss. It's not about me. It's about you.
Right.
How
Right.
did the service that you came to me and gave me the privilege of providing, how is that working for you? Because if you're not happy, I need to know about it, right? Before you
Right.
leave me a 1-star Google review. So
Right.
that's communication. And then I say, hey, just so you know, you're going to get a text message and an email asking you for a Google review. Is that okay? Yeah. And then I send it and I just click yes, and then it follows up. So they get a text message today. They get an email a few hours later today. Then they get then tomorrow they get another one, and it's not that I'm being rude, and it's not that I'm being pushy.
No, people are busy and they don't realize, and they don't get it, and it goes to their spam. Who the heck knows?
Exactly. It took me 3 months.
In the old days, funny, I used to have a bigger firm in the old days. We used to do a lot of collection work. One of the guys was a collections attorney. We used to get some reviews from people. They carried over to my current firm. They're like way down the list from people that we sued. So let's say you're owed money, right? And then you say, Mitch, this client owes me $30,000. We did this big sign job or whatever. So we send them a letter, and then we sue them, and we get the money. They'd leave a message like, don't go to this firm. They steal your money. And then I have to respond, say, you're not even our client.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Hey, I'm so glad you brought that up. So first thing, Google reviews. Google gives you 300 characters to type in and tell about your service. So,
on your Google My
Business profile, they give you 300 characters to talk about a service. So a service could be, plumbing unplugging. It could be digital marketing. It could be, notarization or something like that. They give you 1,000 characters to describe your product, and you can put pictures in there, and you can say, okay, we sell A-frame sides, we do vehicle wraps, we install toilets, electrical, whatever. When you get a Google review, whether it's positive or negative, here's how important this is to Google. They give you 4,000 characters to reply to a Google review. So they're 4 times more interested in how you respond to your customer than how you attract the customer. Okay? They care about the long-term relationship once the customer has started with you, not just attracting the customer, but they care how you handle this. So when you get that guy who's trashing you, you get to write a sermon telling I'm so sorry that you're not happy. We wish we could have done better. It turns out we can't even find you in our database, so we're not sure you're a client. And would you mind contacting us at so-and-so? And then you say...
Yeah, I've done that before.
And then you tell exactly, here are some options because this is just a giant brochure. It's a giant advertisement for you, because when people look at Google reviews, lots of them go to the negative reviews.
Right.
Like they got 1,000 and they're 5-star. That doesn't seem really realistic to me. Like, what do they got? What are their 1s like? What are their 2s like? What are their problems? How do they solve their problems? Because how a person communicates or solves a negative problem tells you a lot more than how they are when the light's shining on them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So you're doing the coaching, helping people with marketing now. You still got you have just one store location?
Yeah, we're just a mom and pop shop with, we're back up to 6 people again. And so I use AI. I use AI to help, and you can use AI yourself. And
yeah.
So
do you know how to design these agents that they're doing, like OpenClaw? Do you understand all that stuff?
I don't understand all that. There's people.
Well, I don't understand any of it.
There's people younger and smarter than me, but I have access to that. But here's the thing. Here's my take on AI. AI is an actual idiot until you train it. Okay. It's got all the knowledge in the world. So think about it like when you go into a big law firm, they got walls and walls of books. Well, all those precedents, all those things, that's useful. It's useful, but that's only knowledge. Wisdom is knowing which case study to pull out and when to present it in a case, right? It's exactly the same thing with a brochure or follow up with a client. All this knowledge is out there. I just had a client send me, and it's becoming more of a problem than a benefit right now. People are sending me things that AI designed that
Yeah,
they're
no, I
real
get that too.
pretty, but
I
yeah.
know, John.
So this is going
I
to
can imagine. I get it on contracts. You must be getting graphics all the time.
Yeah, and so this is going to cost you $10,000, and you used a free AI to do it because you thought it would
Right.
save you money. But so I've coined a phrase what I call AI squared, which is actual intelligence. This is a gray hair, I earned it, my friend, along with artificial intelligence. And when you marry the two of them together, it becomes a symbiotic relationship. There's gears there, and if anybody you know anything about pulleys or gears, you increase the power of something exponentially, right?
Right.
So it makes me way more effective. It doesn't make me smarter, but I'm just using tools that are there. So that's what I'm trying to teach people is how to apply AI in a useful thing. Because again, this is a very expensive education because it's changing all the time.
Yeah.
And so you got to keep relearning and learning different things. And then it's like, okay, next shiny object, next shiny object. Okay, Claude has got it this week. ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, right? Like, where do I go? Well, okay, slow down, people. Find an expert, check their credentials, check their Google reviews, talk to local people, find out
Right.
what their reputation is. So that's the problem nowadays is you don't know who to trust and you don't know how much it should cost, right? Because you can get legal advice, you can get you can get house cleaners for $100 a day, you can get them for $400, and there's going to be a difference. It's up to
Yeah.
you to
No. No.
decide
I,
if there's
I
a
saw a
difference.
guy on TikTok who does deep cleaning in a house, charged $5,000. He's only doing big houses. You know.
Yeah.
Do you find that AI is affecting your business? Like, I could go to AI, right? I think you correct me if I'm
Yep.
wrong, and I could tell whatever the service is, ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, whatever, to design a sign for my business, and then I could find some company in China, probably for pennies on the
Yep.
dollar, to make this sign. I would guess it probably wouldn't look too good, but they'd make this sign probably with a 3D printer or something,
Yep.
and it would come and they'd ship it to me, right?
Is it affecting my business? I'm sure that it is. To me, that's an acceptable loss of business. Please don't get me wrong. I make signs that are like $100 to $60,000. So I'm across the spectrum. But if you're just hunting for the cheapest price, you're probably going to be a high maintenance customer that I don't want to deal with in the first place.
Right. They're probably not your customer. I say that about contracts too. If you want to get a contract done online, and that's fine. And by the way, and I'll tell anybody listening, bringing me an AI contract to review is not going to save you any money. I'm going to charge you the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just so you know. But I think that those people are not my customers anyway. The people that want to use me want to use professional services because, like you said before, their time is valuable.
Yeah.
They may make on their business $1,000 an hour, $1,500 an hour, whatever it is, and they want to pay a professional to do something right the first time.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I believe in templates. And AI is kind of good for offering templates, and AI gives me a starting point, but you have to modify it from there. Books nowadays, you can tell when they're written by AI. Ads, it's there's an animosity. It's new and shiny right now, but there's also an
Right.
animosity that comes with it. A lot of people have, some people don't. I mean, I'm a glasses half full kind of guy, so I'm looking forward to the day where my workload can decrease, so I can spend even more time with my wife and my grandkids and my kids.
Yeah.
Notice the order I put them in there. But but AI is not a replacement for human interaction. We need to know that there's wisdom behind the decisions that are being made. And let's face it, sometimes there's humans that are making poor decisions too. But
Of course, sometimes worse decisions.
yeah, but I think people, if you're an entrepreneur and you're fearful about losing your job to AI or something like that, I think if you deliver valuable service and you do it in a professional way and you follow up, you have such a leg up on your competitors who are just trying to take the shortcut, make the quick buck right now. There are
Right.
things that I could do to make more money faster. I don't need more money. I have a mortgage, but my monthly payments are getting made, and my clients are happy. And if the internet goes down tomorrow, my reputation is not only online. It's primarily online, but it's not only online. But good people get good customers and do good business.
There's no question about it. I think people have to learn that as things change, you use tools to your advantage. I'm
Yeah.
sure at the turn of the last century, people were like, "Oh, it's the industrial age. They're making machines. Nobody's going to have a job."
Yeah.
Now there were industries that disappeared. Certain things were done by hand. Remember in the 40s when they invented like auto switching on the phones, and used to see those women with the
Yeah.
with the headset, and they'd plug it in, and operator, can I help you? And that whole industry disappeared.
Yeah.
But people adjust, and you got to use. But I think it's interesting because I think AI is really an opportunity for small business people to do things like from a marketing standpoint
Yeah.
that 20 years ago you need to hire an advertising agency. I think in the future you're probably able to design your own commercial
Yeah.
and put yourself in it without a studio or cameras or a director or anything to put something on, and then there'll be shops like smaller shops like yours that said, no, we can help you design the commercial and you do all the work, but you don't need actors and all this kind of stuff, and you can charge them a reasonable fee and they can do the advertising that you couldn't do years and years and years ago.
It's very exciting. I mean, I there's parts of it that I love. There's parts of it that I can take it or leave it. I will work with you with AI to help you improve your business. I just don't believe in a fear mentality. I used to. I used to.
Doesn't serve you, right?
Yeah, it's all about your point of view. So, is AI here to stay? Yes. Is it dangerous? Yes. Is it going to be good for you? yes. All of these things are yes. So choose which side you're going to be on, and you still got to get up to, it's like baseball. You got to get up to the bat, and you got to up to the plate, and you got to swing the bat, and you got to keep swinging, right? And sooner or later, you're gonna hit something. But don't just run away and hide in fear, like, oh, AI is going to ruin my business. No, get out there and fight for it, right? You don't have to beat everybody. You don't have to beat AI. You just have to be as good or better as your people closer to you.
Right.
That's your competition. You're not against the
A leader
world.
in your community.
Be a
Right.
leader in your community. Be an expert. And you don't even have to be the best, but if you're the best communicator, if you work with people on a regular basis, I just got paid the highest compliment the other day. A friend of mine took me out to I believe it was an AI seminar, a lunchtime seminar, and then we went for a lunch afterwards, and I introduced myself to the business owner. It was a taco place. And I said, oh, hi, I'm John from Alley Cat Science. He goes, oh, yeah, I know you. I get your emails. I read them all the time. And it's like,
There you go. People say that to me too. That means you're communicating
he's on
with
my
them.
email
Right.
list, and he hasn't unsubscribed, right? So, and I write all my emails personally. They're inspiration based on real stories. I'll probably write something about you, Mitch, and what to do, what not to do. I don't know yet, but but that's what I do.
Don't let this happen to you, and there'll be my picture.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of communication. People and value. You don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to give something, but you can't always be taking something. Don't always be asking. Like my marketing minutes are there to tell you about my experiences and how I handled them, and where I see there was room for improvement. Where some of my wins, some of my losses. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, all my blog articles are legal related. They're to teach business owners and people about different things. There's no sales pitch in them whatsoever. The only place that I'll mention is in the little byline with the little print at the end where links to my website and whatever, because people share the articles. And because you're right, you just want to give value. I had a colleague of mine say years ago, we don't want to be advertising the internet and doing videos and appearing on podcasts. What are you, teaching people what to do? They'll put us out of business. I go, if you think that helping people and sharing information is going to put you out of business, you are so off with the way business is done. Because I talk to people all the time, and maybe I charge more than somebody else they spoke to. I spoke to a guy the other day, and he's like, yeah, that's more than everyone else is charging. I go, yeah, I understand, and I'm not the cheapest on the street, and I'm not the most expensive, but I do take time to work with clients. And it was a real estate closing, and I said, listen, if you're going to do it, though, make sure you do this, this, and this, because a lot of these guys that charge less, they get in there, they do it, they don't talk to you, whatever. And he appreciated that. He chose me.
Good.
So, you got to stick with. I think that's another interesting conversation we can have another time about pricing your product or your service. I think a lot of people they have to get comfortable with, asking for a reasonable price for what they do. That they don't want to underprice what they do. Professionals are.
And so business gurus are telling you, charge more, you're undercharging. You know what? I'm still in touch with my community. That's what makes me valuable to my community, is because I understand what's going on. And if you can get, I'm sure you can get a product that I charge $25 for from China for $7,
Right.
plus shipping or whatever. But if
Right.
it's screwed up, if it's wrong,
Yeah, they don't get you.
they don't take care
Right.
of you, right? That's kind of the way I do things. It's like, okay, this client I was mentioning earlier had a sign designed by AI, and they have, you see a lot of them on podcasts nowadays, the insulated walls with the lines in them, so they absorb the sound, right?
Yeah.
The vertical lines in it. Well, when it's just a fact of the way human anatomy works. When your eye sees vertical lines, and then you put a word on it like Beinhocker that has an E with a straight line on it, and an I on it, and an N and an H and a K, all those straight lines, if you put those letters right onto a background with straight lines, you're going to get a vibration. It's called the comb effect. And
Right in your eyes.
in your
You mean,
eyes,
it
yeah.
looks like.
It's not
Yeah.
real. It's an optical illusion
No,
that
I've
your
seen
brain
it.
can't
Right.
process.
I didn't know what it was called, but I've seen it. Yeah.
But so this client came to me with their design, and it had that, and I said, well, I suggest you put it on a backer so it stands off, and blah blah blah. So no, we want it this way, and we went. And my son went and installed it, and I get a call 3 days later. Yeah, it looks kind of blurry. There's something wrong with it, and I had to explain to him, no,
It's your eyes, not the
yeah,
sign.
it's physiology, and these people are doctors and psychologists, and so they understood that. Now they have to come up with a $300 to $500 solution to fix this. That they wouldn't have had to spend if they had taken AI squared advice, right?
Right, exactly.
Actual intelligence and experience with artificial intelligence.
Yeah, no, there's no question about it. Look, I try to explain to people that AI works just like our brains work, right? We use our collective intelligence, things that we've experienced in our life. You and I have 60 years of experience. My son's only got 25.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come to different conclusions. And then I'll tell you things that I think are correct and draw some conclusions based on the information I have. AI does exactly the same thing, except it has an access to a much greater knowledge,
Yeah.
which can cause good results and bad results, right? When you have too much conflicting knowledge and they try to draw conclusions. So it works the same way. It's just, it's not reliable either for the same reasons.
It has knowledge without perspective, and
No
coming back to
perspective, right? Because they're not human.
yeah, coming back to your job, that's what isn't that what findings are, or judgments, and then there's interpretations, and then reinterpretation.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. And they make up cases anyway half the time. These
Yeah.
AI.
And are they right and are they wrong? I don't know. But I will do what's the best for you at this point in time, and you are making the best decisions you can make at that point in time. Like I'm not. I'm not in the same career that I started in 40 years ago, because I've changed. My needs have changed. My
Right.
desires have changed, right? So follow the
Yeah,
path.
do
That's
the
my
best.
dream.
So, John, what's the best way for people to connect with you, learn from Alley Cat Marketing, see what's going on? They obviously, if they're not in your area, they're not going to walk into your store. So,
Yeah.
there you go. IGetYouFound.com. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I do, right? I get you found on the street, on
Okay.
the web. So if you go there, you're it's gonna ask you for your name and your email address, and then you'll get into my CRM, and it's gonna send you a free download of what I call my playbook, my I Get You Found playbook. And there's 3 things in there that I talk about. One chapter is completely boring. It's all about how to do your Google business profile that we were talking about. So you don't have you
Okay.
don't have
Boring but
it's
important.
boring but important. So you
Right.
don't have to do it yourself. You can hire me. And by the way, if anybody tells you that they're going to do this for you for $100, run away. $500 is the minimum this should cost to $1,000. And then if you want ongoing service, it's $500 to $1,000 a month is really what you need to spend. Anything less than that, you're just throwing your money away. So please don't. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll teach you there how to optimize your Google business profile, what you need to do. I will also teach you how to get Google reviews, and I'll show you the same scripts and stuff that I use, so I give you access to all of that. And then there's one more thing. Most of you are watching this on video right now, so you're seeing our face, you're seeing our interaction.
Right.
Ever since, humankind has always been about community, but even ever more so since COVID, we want to see a face. I recommend what I call the website concierge. It's a little pop-up video that you'll see on my website, and you can click on it, or you don't have to click on it. It's just an invitation for you. But if you click on it, it'll say, let's say it was on your website, Mitch. It says, "Hey, welcome to Beinhocker Law. This is Mitch. If you're looking for legal advice, click over here. If you want to see some of our free tools or videos on YouTube, click here. And if you want to book an appointment, click on the calendar down here."
It's called Website Concierge.
Yeah, you can find it on my website. Yeah, that's my name for it. There's a bunch of different ones.
Oh, okay.
But what it does is it increases the engagement of people who actually land on your website by 42%. Okay, because
Interesting. Because sometimes they don't want to read; they'd rather watch a video.
well, you know what? You've got 3 seconds to make a first impression, and HubSpot says that the average stay on a website is only 54 seconds. Now, I don't know about you, but
That sounds like a long time. 54
right.
seconds.
So, how long have we been on here, Mitch? An hour?
We're coming on
53 minutes.
54
Yeah.
minutes.
So, in 53 minutes, we've talked mostly about digital marketing and signage and me. Okay. People have gotten to know me in 53 minutes, and they know a little bit about you from all their previous experience, right? 54 seconds is not long enough. So you got to engage with people right away, and you've got to show people that, hey, I have something valuable to offer, and I'm going to treat you well. And you just can't do that with a pop-up,
Right.
when an AI bot turns people off, it doesn't really help them.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you on LinkedIn, I would assume,
I
right?
am on
People want
LinkedIn.
to
I'm a
connect
little
with
bit
you?
limited on my presence there, but yeah, if you go to I Get You Found, you'll see a video on
You
there.
connect with you, get on
That's
your marketing list, learn from you.
yeah, and you can unsubscribe
I
at
love
any
it.
time. Like
Okay.
we do not want to hold
That's what I
people
tell people on
hostage.
my list too.
Yeah,
No, people can quit whenever they want.
yeah, and then you can sign back up. Like sometimes, like, I might not be flavor of the month anymore. 6 months from now, or you might think I'm sick of hearing about John's stories and his wife.
Yeah, no, you meet other people. Everybody's got some. There's a lot of good people out there. It's not just you and me. I understand that.
Yeah,
I'm humble enough to say I'm not the best lawyer around. I'm a very good lawyer.
right.
Not the best.
Thank heaven I
I
don't
don't
need
even
one.
know if there is a best.
Exactly, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, John. Well, I know it is midday out by you. It's like 1 o'clock, right? So enjoy. I don't know what Vancouver's like, but
Zero
it's going to be a
o'clock.
crappy weekend in New Jersey.
Yeah,
So
yeah, let's get started. Hey,
yeah,
thank you so much.
absolutely.
I
So
appreciate you having me on, and if any of your guests out there, if I can help you out, please feel free to reach out.
thanks so much, John.
Have a great day.
How can you help us, though, continue to help you? First, please subscribe to the channel. Like us. If you listen to the audio version, leave us a 5-star review wherever you can. If you see our posts, please share those posts, share the content, and link back to our law firm website, which helps us to continue our SEO marketing and grow our firm and help small business owners.